All right, here we are, coming into the Capricorn New Moon. Good morning, party people. I am standing in the Lynn Canyon Reserve near a waterfall, between a waterfall and a rushing river. Enjoy the soothing sounds of healing waters. When waters rush as such, it kicks up negative ions that equalizes and grounds an individual. And it's particularly helpful for those experiencing extreme grief or anger/rage. Very great healing tool. Just get ye to a waterfall. And you don't have to go in it. You don't have to actually experience the intensity of the force of the water, but just standing near it is very healing. I remember when my mother was sick, I was told by a psychic. It was actually before she was dying. So like she kind of was dying for a number of months leading up to her official exit date. But like a year and a half before that, I went to see a psychic, and he said, bring your mom to Niagara Falls. And I was like, that makes so much sense, because my mom was she couldn't breathe. She was experiencing difficulties, complications from her illness that led to her ultimate demise. just sharing. But this Capricorn New Moon is very interesting. My mom, speaking of, had her natal moon in Capricorn. So for any of you who have any placements or points in Capricorn, or even it's important to consider looking at the house, even if you have nothing in it, like myself. I have Estrella, who is a goddess of purity and innocence. She's like the Virgo constellation. Anyway, at 27 degrees of Capricorn. So that's the only point that I have. And I don't have much in Cancer, which is on the other side of things. But I can speak with great experience, because my mom had a my mom had a Capricorn moon, and my brother is a Capricorn sun, and my sister is a Capricorn moon. So we got a lot of these papa provider types in my family. You know, the beautiful thing about having a Capricorn moon in particular, because, you know, we grow into our sun sign, but having that, I just love moon signs. They're like the best, because it's how we nourish ourselves and nurture ourselves on the daily go-rounds. It's like people won't know. It's like it's your most private parts. Those are your real private parts, is your moon. But it's just so beautiful, because a Capricorn moon, and remember, we're talking about the Capricorn New Moon happening on January 11th at 20 degrees and I believe 45 minutes. I think it's 45 minutes, but anyway, it might be 44. There's a conjunction there too, but we'll get to it. Yeah, so there's an essence of, you know, Capricorn is the goat, the mountain goat, right? Like balancing on this edge, and all this effort just to like walk across, and they, you know, I mean, why did they choose that habitat? Like, dude, like you could have picked anywhere to live. and you want to scale a sharp terrain mountainside, like. So they're hard workers. That's the point. Oh, I found my little beach. Passed right by it. I was like, where am I? It's funny how you can take these walks all the time. And then and then suddenly it's like you're seeing it for the first time. You know what I mean? It's important to bear witness to your surroundings. Like, you know, my head races. Man, my head's on fire. Literally, Mercury is in Sagittarius during this new moon. So it's important to consider how fucking know-it-all one can be. Like, especially me. Like, I'm like almost embarrassed at myself. If I could get embarrassed at myself. At this point in my life, I don't give a shit, you know? Like, I've been through enough. I don't know. I'm like, what's too much? I'm too much? What's too much? You know? I'm just like infinite joy and expansion of love and like come on, you know, like that pandemic shit did not suit me, like restrictions, right? So restrictions, Saturn often represents restrictions in the natal chart. Now Saturn is ruling this new moon. But guess what, kiddos? Saturn is no longer squaring Uranus. Like, think back to 2021, that fucking year, when there were multiple squares between Saturn and Uranus. It was like, and those are slow-moving planets. So it takes Saturn 30 years to go around the astrological wheel. The wheel in the sky keeps on turning. And Uranus is like basically a human lifetime. Everything after a Uranus cycle is like icing on the cake or gravy on the potatoes or whatever. Because Uranus is 84-year cycle. So I can actually speak to that with some personal experiences, but I'm going to stay focused on Capricorn, new moon here. But Saturn is in Pisces at I think about 3 degrees. And so Saturn is doing a reality check for these, he's bringing out the false gurus, because Pisces is all about spirituality and truth and your higher self. The Neptune in the chart, you can read a chart many different ways, right? Like apparently Neptune in the 4th house may mean an interference from a grandmother when your mom was just trying to raise you or something like that. I thought that was the coolest shit I ever heard, so I made a mental note of that. But Neptune, the way I read it in a natal chart, is your higher self. And Neptune, when it's transiting, is a reflection of confusion, distortion, fogginess. It means water, right? Neptune is the god of water. Now I go into this because Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. Now I don't mean to digress too much here, but so Saturn is in Neptune's house right now. So I want you to sit with that for a minute. So the planet of restriction in terms of transits, that's how you would read it. But Saturn is also like a mastery level of skill. Saturn really wants to reward us. And so Saturn says, it's not like with Capricorn. So Saturn is the planet that rules Capricorn. So this new moon in Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And he's in Neptune's house. So he's in the water house. He's in this one love, Bob Marley-esque kind of stuff. He's talking a different language. The best example, the best metaphor I heard about Saturn and Pisces in general is like the party lights go on and then you see all the shit on the floor. It was so blissful, right? Because Pisces is bliss. And Pisces can represent addictions too. Like Neptune can indicate some addictions, places we escape. There's a bug that really loves me. It keeps coming at my face. So Pisces rules these things. That Saturn is now in there being like, he's the timekeeper, right? He's looking at his watch. He's making sure the building passes inspection. Like this party house is like a little messy. And like, you know, when you turn the lights on after a rave, like, it looks like a whole bunch of shit. Whereas like, you know, in the dark and the night before, it was like blissful lights, like love and sound and all this gorgeousness. And then the next day you got your hangover and you know, you're like wigged out from too many drugs or whatever. So this is the best way to explain Saturn in Pisces. Now, I'm taking the time to get into this because he is the ruler of this moon. Now, Saturn is not like a work hard for rewards, kind of like the donkey with the carrot, the donkey with the carrot on a string. You know, he's not like that. I mean, that would be the shadow side of Capricorn. But Saturn wants reward in that, like, is this working for you? Nope. It's out. Cut. Stamp it. No races. He's another kind of like that guy. He's like similar to Pluto that way. But Saturn will remove things that aren't working. So, you know, that's kind of helpful. Like if you're not paying attention, like maybe you game too, like maybe you overgame, oversleep, overeat, overdrink, over sex, over work, over work out, like who knows, right? But Saturn is going to look at those things and be like, is this really working for you? Nope, it's gone. Saturn will cut those ties. Saturn will take your life. Saturn is the Grim Reaper, if you will. He's the father time. He's the hourglass. He is the grains of sand in your life. So you know something about the 27-year club. Well, that's a Saturn transit. A Saturn returning to the place of your birth happens anywhere between the ages of 27 and 31, maybe. I would say 28 to 30 is more accurate. Usually 28 years it takes Saturn to go around the chart. So the cool thing about this moon is that, so we got Mercury in Sag, the know-it-all, and he's actually going to clear his shadow. He's been in retrograde over these last couple months. He's clearing that retrograde shadow as of the next day, so the 12th. He's stationed direct, I think on New Year's Day. Jupiter stationed direct the day New Year's Eve. So we've got, and Jupiter is ruling that Mercury actually, and you know, Jupiter's gonna blow shit up, like inflate things, and that's what I mean about, like, you know, the too muchness piece. And I mean, I've been maybe a bit too much for some people, like, but I don't care. This new moon in Capricorn is a wonderful time. Any new moon is a great time to set intentions, so long as it's maybe not a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse. That's for another session of Jody with the stars here. Still don't have a name. But this new moon is a long-term goal setting. So like I was talking about the donkey with the carrot. That is not Capricorn energy. The highest expression of Capricorn is you provide for those you love. You work hard so that you can provide for those you love. You can provide for your friends, provide for yourself, provide for your loved one, your beloved, provide for your family, your children, your grandchildren. That is Capricorn. So like, you know, we could judge to, Capricorns, they subscribe to like working to, hard until they retire. And then they get to enjoy life. Well, they're providing this whole time. And so when they're doing that, they're feeling good. Like the way my mom had and my sister have like Capricorn moons. You know, that lights them up. That nourishes them on the daily round, is providing for those they love. And when I really miss my mom. She died in 2022. And when I would come and visit her, she would like take me grocery shopping, buy me things, like when she was sick, like couldn't get out of a chair and attached to an oxygen tank. The woman was online shopping and ordering me a bunch of vegetarian items and like scrolling through, like making sure that there was food in the house for me to cook and eat and enjoy my stay. Like, I miss that woman. So yeah, so that's what Capricorn is. It provides for those. That nourishes. And it also does that for the self. There's a lot of healing. There's so much support with this new moon. So I was getting into Saturn a bit there, who is the ruler of this moon in Pisces. And he is sextiling Uranus in Taurus. How cool is that? So we had those squares in 2021. Not fun. Not fun. There was like Uranus is the planet of breakthrough and eruption, sudden surprise, like surprise, here's a breakdown, breakthrough, breakup. It's all very surprising sometimes, always with Uranus, but also rules the internet and networking and the future in Aquarius. And during 2021, we had like whenever there's a square aspect between planets, we have like a stoplight, and who's going to get to go first, or stop signs, and like maybe you both arrive at the same time and you're both like, I get to go first, no, I get to go first, and like there's going to be a crash if like you don't navigate this, right? So it's a hard aspect. It's the hardest aspect, and it pushes us to develop as individuals in the natal chart. It's like one of the biggest gifts, actually, to help you evolve and develop and grow. And in 2021, we know what that was all about. That was like a general push for humanity. It's like, lock up, lock down. And Uranus was like, fuck this, freedom. Lock up, lock down, Saturn says. Uranus is like, fuck this freedom. Freedom, freedom. And so there was like constant back and forth and barragement of this tension. And right now, they've transited along, and now they're 60 degrees as opposed to, what is a square corner, 45? They're 60 degrees apart now, and so that is an opportunity. You see, that supportive energy, that is lovely. That is like, hey, I'm kind of feeling like this isn't working. We need some rules here. And Uranus is like talking back in a flowy way, saying, hey, you might be right, but like, let me do it. Let me like rattle this person in this way, or shake things up in this like fun, nice way that will help them remove what is no longer needed. So they're talking, and they're providing us opportunities to cut things that don't work. And a lot of this is going to have to do with self-worth and financial, because that is Uranus in Taurus, is an earth sign, and it rules value. Taurus is self-love, beauty, sensual pleasures, and Uranus is rocking through there, changing the financial markets like there's no tomorrow, because suddenly. So, but Saturn is like doing this spiritual management, and so we've got a communication there, an opportunity there, and this new moon is great for setting goals. And like, you could have this was the great stuff. I just listened to Elizabeth April this today, and she can be out there, like if you're into aliens and stuff, she talks to them. But she did have this beautiful thing to say about having a bunch of material shit is not going to make you feel valuable, valued, loved, or I mean, we know this, but the material is just material, right? This is not the end game. This is not the end game. It's actually quite interesting. Sorry, I'm just organizing my bag. You could have a whole bunch of material shit and it'd be like, this is not bringing me happiness. You get, and so So it's important to consider. I don't know where the fuck this string. Looks like a hair, but it's a big ass black string. Sorry, I'm so distracted. It's like someone from a factory embedded their hair in this glove I bought. That was a little bizarre. So that is not the point, to have a lot of money. You know, and this Saturn in Pisces is like, it's not like wait till retirement. I have a hair in my mouth. My goodness. Maybe I should stop talking. But yeah, I'll just sum up this. I will speak to Chiron in Aries as part of this new moon, his transit there. He's at 15 degrees. And he's conjunct the North Node. So the collective direction is coming, I think the North Node's around 20 degrees. That's my guess. So that's a proper conjunction there, 5 degree orb. And so it's really, we really have an opportunity. I'm trying not to mix it up with my own natal chart because this Chiron has been opposite my Sun and Pluto for quite a while because I'm a Libra Sun. So I'm like, damn it, would you get on getting on? So it's just really getting me to look at my inner childhood wounds and just treat them tenderly. So this whole too much thing really rings true for me. Because I got to get publishing. I got to get sharing my gifts and my talents and creating the life that I want that is not connected to a material scoop. It's, how much shit can I buy and own? And like, I just actually hate shopping, which is odd for a Libra because we're ruled by Venus, who rules shopping. But yeah, this is just very, and I think this new moon is trining, actually, or squaring, kind of. Fire and fire would be a trine. That's what it is. Because the new moon's at 20 degrees and it's trining. I'm just doing all this out of my head. I got one of these detailed Virgo Mercury brains. But anyway, that's what it is. So this new moon is very much fluid communication with our childhood wounds. That shit that triggers us. Like for me, it's like, be quiet. You're too loud. You're too wild. You're too much. Too. And so I shut down creatively. But this is the collective direction right now, is to pioneer, like that North Node in Aries, open road, pioneering, pave the way, be true to you, maverick shit. And this is the shit that's going to start the rebuilding while things are breaking. This is what I always say. I share it widely. We are rebuilding while things are breaking. Now I can hear the clouds rolling. And my toes are getting cold. But, yeah, so whatever is your trigger point, that is the Chiron. We can treat it tenderly, oh, I know what this is. And I've been overdoing it a bit, like just kind of push to really see if, like, it is too much. And yeah, I can be. If I try hard enough. But, it's very healing for me. And it's like, I know what this is. I know what this is. And so from there, you can heal it by the proper ointments and just let it ride, baby. Let it ride. And thus, we attract people that have similar wounds moving on down the line. Because as you go down your healing journey, you wind up attracting those who are seeking guidance for the wounds that you've healed. Now, this is what Chiron's all about. He's the wounded healer, you see. It's a beautiful placement to check out in your own chart. Maybe take the time to learn about your Chiron, like what house is it in? What sign is it in? And that's going to give you a lot of information. And actually, you can actually count the degrees to which Chiron lies in your natal chart. And that might even give you an indication of how old you were when you had the first wound, because that's how it works. So for me, it's at 0 degrees. And I actually almost died at birth, so I'll take it. I wrapped the cord around my neck and I'm like, fuck this shit, I'm out. It's like, wasn't even arriving. I was arriving and I was like, no, this sucks. This three-dimensional reality, this sucks. I don't want to be born. And then it was like, no. My mom said, I'm not doing this without you. And then to quote Sinead O'Connor, and then she selfishly died. Just kidding. I'm just joking. But it's interesting with Sinead O'Connor's mama, because she was severely abusive, and still she didn't want her. She still wanted her in her life. It's just so fascinating, the connection with the mother. So the new moon is in Capricorn. That's a reparenting. That's reparenting ourselves, because Capricorn and Cancer, that axis is the mother, the father. And the Cancer is the nurturing part, ruled by the moon, and the Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and it's the public space. You know, but it's more than a career. But right now it speaks to a lot of like, what do you want to do? What career do you want to have? What long-term goals? Set those long-term goals, my friends. Set those intentions, set those goals up, and enjoy this beautiful, supportive new moon with such beautiful energies. And I hope that I did it justice. I know that we are at a time where we're pioneering and paving the way for the future years. Like, things are coming in hot. Like, the next few years are going to completely shift. If you want to know where I get a lot of my information, well, I'm quite the YouTuber. And I have all these playlists that I created based on other people's content that really resonated, and some of it's out there and some of it's really helpful and healing, and they're all kind of labeled fittingly. I also have some playlists from my days of having a radio show, so some of the music is there. But a lot of the occult knowledge is my life purpose. My life goals are this occult knowledge, and I think I'm going to get on stage and just start talking. Because if I'm not doing it, if I'm not publishing it, if I don't have an outlet, I'm occupying people in a bar and like being too much. Or, So I have a lot of energy. I can't wait to share my gifts and my talents in this new year. And this is like actually like not the new year traditionally for astrology, but because this new moon, the way it's all lining up, this is a good time to set some intentions, not some resolutions. It is the dead of winter. It's like the middle of winter. It's like for the northern hemisphere, it's like not the best time to like stick to itness, right? Like, and we're not all set up to operate that way because, for example, I have a lot of cardinal in my chart, Aries, Libra. So I've got a lot of stuff going on there. So it's not really, I'm not a fixed sign. Like, fixed signs can set New Year's intentions and stick to it the whole year. Fixed signs can stick to their guns. That's Taurus. Give me a second. Aquarius, Scorpio. There's one more I'm missing that's fixed. Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius. That's it. 3. So that is, no, because there's a fixed grand cross. So there's one more I'm missing. Jesus. Anyway. Leo. Sorry, Leos. Those guys can stick to a plan. cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, they start the plan. They initiate. They're the starters of the season. The fixed signs come in and keep it going. And then the mutable signs are all about change. So we have a new moon in Capricorn, which is a cardinal sign. It's heavily supportive energy. Looking at the healing, it's very healing, very nurturing, reparenting, long-term goal setting. Go for it. You got this, booze. You got this. Tried and true. All right, 3:33 on the clock. Gonna stop this now. Much love, party people. Happy new moon, January 11th, 20 degrees. If you want to book a reading with me, tarot, astrology, or otherwise, some energy healing, please contact me at jodypongratz@gmail.com.